Are Ultrasabers lightsaber blades and lightsaber blade plugs compatible with other saber companies? So in theory, yes, they are compatible, or they should be. So Ultrasabers makes 1-inch diameter blades and 1-inch diameter blade plugs. So if you have a saber from a different saber company that accommodates a 1-inch diameter blade or blade plug, then theoretically these should all work, right? Well, in reality, that's unfortunately not always the case. So Ultrasabers seems to have a little bit of a quality control issue with the diameter of their blades and blade plugs. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second. So these are some hilts produced by other saber companies. This is a One Replica's SSQY, the kind of anodized gold version. This is a Kyber saber with a few added accessories onto it. And finally, this is a Saber Forge Exile, and all three of these hilts are supposed to accommodate a 1-inch diameter blade or blade plug. Let's see what happens. So here's the One Replica's SSQY, and if we try out one of these blades, these Ultrasabers blades, you'll see it doesn't quite fit. And sometimes this will depend on the blade, so maybe this blade doesn't work. Maybe another one will. I haven't really tried out the blades that I have here, but it kind of, okay, it appears that these three blades anyway don't really work with this hilt. Now, with these blade plugs, so here's an Ultrasaber's blade plug, one style. That works just fine. So this is supposed to be the exact same diameter as these blades. And then here is another blade plug from Ultrasabers. And it has the same issue as the blade. It doesn't quite fit. And with these sort of things, you really don't want to force it, especially with blade plugs, because when these things get stuck, it's super annoying. So I don't recommend that at all. Now let's check out the blades with this Kyber. So here's the 1-inch diameter blade. Works just fine with the Kyber, so that's all right there. And this blade plug also works fine, and then I would expect this one to work fine as well. So finally we have the Saber Forge Exile, and see that blade, that works all right with the Saber Forge Exile. But I have one twist, you guys. So I have a stuck Ultrasaber's blade plug in here, and I'm pretty sad about that, but this kind of demonstrates my point. I wasn't even really forcing it very much, but unfortunately that seems to be a very easy thing to happen with some of these Ultrasaber's blade plugs. Now, I have kind of praised these blade plugs in the past, but I'm becoming a little more skeptical of them. I'm not quite sure if I can recommend them anymore just because of this issue, or if you do get them, you use them very, very carefully, because I've gotten these blade plugs stuck even in Ultrasabers hilts. So I don't know. I don't know yet how I'll be able to remove this. If you guys have some suggestions for that, please leave them in the comments section. But that kind of sums up this video, you guys. Theoretically, Ultrasaber's blades and blade plugs should work for your saber if the saber takes a 1-inch diameter blade, but in reality, there's a little bit of quality control, and kind of the variation in diameter, even if it's very small, can make a big difference for you. And in the case of these blade plugs, unfortunately, they can get stuck in your sabers. So just be aware of that possibility if you're looking at the blades and blade plugs from Ultrasabers. They may not work very well, or yeah, they could get stuck. Hopefully they won't get stuck for you like this, but watch out for that.